Hi, I'm Joleen Lunzer.
And I'm Sarah Atwood.
We're YouTubers.
We're entertainment and pop culture fanatics.
But most importantly, we're friends.
Good Pop is a weekly podcast where we chat about pop culture, entertainment, life, and share some good news stories.
Because right now, we could all use some good in our lives.
So sit back, relax, and get some of this good pop.
Oh my gosh. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Good Pop Podcast. Hi, Sarah.
That was us! Yay!
That was so cute, you guys. It looks like in the comments, you love it. You said great intro. So fun. You guys, shout out to Hype Man Husband Chell. Chell, you want to peek in?
Yes.
He did it. Look at, there's Chell. He always goes
the perfect shot, Chell.
Right? He loves to go on my lives and go, is this how the internet works? And then go close it. So you guys, we have an intro that we're adding not only on iTunes, but also to our YouTube lives, which is happening.
We are professional. That's right.
Right? I feel like we're very professional with this intro. So you guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. Quick little news update about the podcast. We are actually live. Everything's working on iTunes. So please,
Yay.
please subscribe, like, not like. Okay,
your friends, rate it.
Yes.
You know,
we have two ratings.
All that good bribery stuff.
Exactly. We have two ratings right now, and one is from Chell and one is from me, but we have different names because that's what we do. So if you guys go to iTunes, the link is in the description of this video. And if you're listening on iTunes later, hello, future listener, please rate and review. 5-star with a nice little review would be so wonderful. We'd be grateful.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, and we also have merch, and the merch link is in the description on TeePublic, so you guys can get your Good Pop t-shirts, pillows, phone cases, all that lovely stuff. Shout out to everyone joining us in
Joleen is hustling, you guys.
Well, speaking of hustling, I want to give us a little life update because we start with our life update.
Please.
And then I would like to, Sarah's been hustling on our Instagram at Good Pop Pod, and she created this super fun what is it, like a game?
Yeah, sure. I call it a this or that. I'm not sure what we're calling it. It's a template. Templates are in right now, Joleen, because we're all stuck at home on Instagram, and there's a gazillion templates out there, but I really liked the this or that one for pop culture.
Yes. Seth said that intro felt like an HGTV promo. I love HGTV, so I'm here for it. Okay, so then I would like to read our answers for the this or that, and you guys feel free to fill out yours on social media. Tag us in your stories at Good Pop Pod. We will share it, and let's have some fun. Okay, so let's start with a life update. Sarah, what is going on in your life?
Oh, Joleen, I cried so much this week, and I'm not sure why this podcast has become like, is Sarah crying enough podcast? But it has. Here we are. It was the Survivor finale, and I don't want it to sound like I cry over reality shows ending, but I kind of do, because it's very like, it's a part of my my business. It's a part of my how I make money. And it was such an amazing season. Like, we've never had anything like it before. And I have been working on it since the first of the year. That was my focus. That was my goal. And I was so excited for it. And like that whole day, Wednesday, I was like so amped up. And the next day I just totally crashed and became so depressed. And I was like sobbing that I peaked in my career and I'll have nothing like this again. I just went like so far in the extreme. I just love the entertainment community, and like you and Elaine came on and did a draft. It was just such a special experience that I had to sort of grieve it. And I'm much better now. Good. Although I did cry to a Shakira song this morning. But
which one? Underneath Your Clothes?
No, Try Everything.
Oh, I don't. Is that a newer one?
I don't know. It's from the Zootopia. Is that what it is? I don't watch animated movies, but I was vaguely aware that the song existed, but I hadn't listened to the lyrics, and it just came on my Amazon Prime Music is what I listen to, like radio. And she says, I won't give up. I won't give in till I reach the end. Then I'll start again. And I was just like, oh my God, Shakira. Yes.
Shakira will do it to you. And yes, you are right. Try Everything is from Zootopia. I just looked it up and I am looking at the lyrics. I won't give up. I won't give in till I reach the end. That is so, Shakira is
again.
Boss. And she was in the Super Bowl show.
Yeah. Oh, I loved that halftime. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I just remember Shakira Underneath Your Clothes. Underneath your clothes, there's an endless story. There's the man I chose. Sorry, I shouldn't have done that, but I have to every time I hear it. Territory. I used to do a joke about it, but I love it. But yes, if you guys didn't know, Sarah, if you're listening on iTunes later and you just discovered us, Sarah runs an awesome YouTube account called Nerdtainment. Make sure you subscribe. She and David, her co-host, have been covering Survivor, The Amazing Race, Big Brother for years. And they have a huge Survivor community. And really, they're the go-to channel. I'm just going to put it out there. You're the go-to channel for Survivor. You are. When I'm confused, I watch you guys. And so you guys really, they break it down. They get in depth. They truly are fans and students of Survivor. So I get what you're saying about the sadness of that. That's kind of how I feel about Big Brother, because when my Big Brother season's over, I feel like no one's going to watch my videos and nobody cares about me. And when people join, they're just like, whoa, is this about Big Brother? You know, because I don't blame them. That's what I mostly cover. And now since we might not get a Big Brother this summer, it's different.
Right. When this is what, like, we make our own content. And so then when it's like, oh, wait, we might not have another show for a while, it gets a little scary.
Yeah, it does, because you get used to, there's something maybe a little bit with me, with my ego, where I get used to seeing certain numbers and then I don't. And then I think, well, I'm trash and nobody likes what I'm making.
That's it. We're done. That's it. We're never going to work again. That's it. That's how we feel sometimes. Yes. Joleen, how was your week?
My week, I tried to stay pretty busy. I did catch Survivor. I was in love with the finale of Survivor, and I'll be on your channel on Nerdtainment on Monday, right?
Yes.
Talking about it. So I'm with Elaine, right?
Yes.
Oh, my little biscuit. Okay, I get to see her. I haven't seen her in so long. My week has been pretty good. Today, I am lucky enough where I'm in a space right now, physically in a space, not mentally, where we're staying in Chel's mom's retirement home, if you guys didn't know, in Palm Desert, Palm Springs area. So I feel very lucky because she's not here and we just get this house that we didn't earn or deserve or pay for. And we're staying here.
And outdoor space.
So it's we're very, very, very lucky. And they have Alexa. They have all that. When I grow up, I want to be like Chel's mom. She's killing it at life. And they have Alexa. And this morning, Chel made chilaquiles. Like, he's like just, his food is amazing. I'm just like, I lost it for a second there. Yum. And then afterwards, I was like, I'll do the dishes. And I've been using Alexa as like a concert. And I was playing Old Counting Crows because as a 90s teenager and kid, the Counting Crows, August and Everything After, changed my life. When I was 14, I was like, Mom and Dad, you just don't understand. I'm going to put on my Counting Crows and sit in the backseat of this minivan. Why do you want to bring us to Glacier National Park? I want to hang out with my friends. I'm going to listen to Anna Begins by Counting Crows. So I just played the Counting Crows and sang my heart out. Now, had I been in my LA apartment, I can't be loud.
Can't do that. Yeah, no, we have an Alexa and she's the best. And it's connected to an Amazon Prime Music. Like, their radio, I don't know. They're not sponsoring us, so I don't know how much I'm supposed to say, but I live on their music for my music. Because you can say Counting Crows. You can say something like Counting Crows. You can say whatever, and it just gives it to you.
It's amazing. Music is just there's something so therapeutic about it. And there's just something so therapeutic about being able to scream your song, just like yell it, have a full concert. Because I don't know about you, Sarah. I mean, we're both kind of like, theater kid types. And when I was a kid, I would turn on Otis Redding and walk around my house as a kid and pretend I was on some kind of stage that went through the audience and just sing Otis Redding songs. So I really like having a concert.
Yes, I call them dance parties. It doesn't matter where I am or what I'm doing. You turn on that music and then you're just like, dance it out while you do the dishes.
Ooh, I love it. Okay. So pretty good. So everything's going, well. We do, we're still in quarantine here in Los Angeles County, California. So
we're going to be for a while. The rest of the country seems to be loosening up their rules, but here where we live, it is too big of a city to loosen up the rules too much. Exactly. So we'll be like this for a while.
So you'll be
Joleen, can I give you an astrology update? Straight from Mama Bev.
Yes.
She wanted to make sure that I had this information for everybody today.
Beverly is giving us info for our pod.
Yes.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Mama Bev wants everyone to know that Jupiter is retrograde.
Okay. Jupiter
not
is
Gatorade.
Not Gatorade.
But retrograde. Okay. Yes. So retrograde means that it stands still, I believe. Like the planets are slowing down. So it feels like we're not moving forward. And then Jupiter represents optimism and good fortune. It's actually one of the best planets. Jupiter is all like job success and good fortune. It's income, like it's all this positive stuff. So when it retrogrades, things kind of slow down. But she wants me to let you know that this is the time to reassess, reevaluate. It's not like it's stopping. It's not like it's over. But she says this is when we sort of reflect. We notice any destructive behaviors or addictions that could cause like self-sabotage, or like, with your income, with your success. Pay attention to particular issues that might interfere with your development, relationships, happiness, that kind of thing. So that's what we're doing right now while you're at home in quarantine. Reassess those things, guys.
Beverly is so smart, Mama Bev. Okay, so here's a little thing I'm doing on Monday. So I've definitely been in this quarantine. Chell and I have really reassessed our spending. Yeah. And we've noticed that in this quarantine, not being able to go out, not to spend, we are just spending too much. And we're spending too much on food, and we're just putting too much out there. Since we've been in quarantine with not spending money, we've been able to pay off some credit that's been sitting on us.
Nice.
For quite a long time. So that's been like, we now have a budget. We have a spreadsheet. We're really trying to focus and be responsible adults. Also on Monday, we made an appointment with a dietitian through our insurance.
Not Katie?
No.
Oh, no. You didn't go to Katie? I won't tell my sister.
Katie is a dietitian. Okay, so that's
I won't tell her.
Sister who's awesome. Well, we went through Aetna. If she's covered by Aetna, I'll go to her.
She's probably out of area for you.
Network, yeah. So we didn't know that this was covered by the insurance that I get through my, daytime employer. And Chell looked into it because we really are taking a hard look, like Bev says, with this in retrograde, right? Jupiter's in is that what we're saying?
Yes.
In retrograde. Okay, I want to make sure I'm saying it right. No Gatorade. And we were looking at our patterns and things, and we're really finding that we have some issues with like food and stuff, and we want to make the best, healthiest choices. And I've never talked to a dietitian. I've listened to Jillian Michaels a lot, and I don't know if she's registered, but normally I just go with what she says. So we have a little meeting with our first dietitian ever. So it's so funny that you brought that up.
I love that. Yes, no, I love that. I think that's perfect timing. The universe is bringing it to you. You're feeling it. And I think that's great. What I've learned from my sister is that dietitians have a lot more information than the rest of us. And they see food differently and obviously in a more healthy way than we do. So I think that's a great plan.
Yeah, and shout out to Katie too, because I remember sitting at a restaurant with her, asking her about diet, and I'm like, this is probably annoying because I'm talking to you about your job and we're trying to relax. She's like, no, she was so kind about it. Also, shout out to Faye giving us our first super chat of the day. You guys look so cute. Thank you. Oh my god,
I tried.
I just came out of the shower and I'm just letting that air dry happen. Okay. Oh, and Beverly has joined us in the chat. We were just talking about you, Mama Bev. Hello. She says self-care is the way to go.
That's right. This is the perfect time for that. Hope everyone's doing it.
That's great. Okay. Now I want to get to the thing you made, but speaking of astrology, I have an astrology pop culture story if you'd like to.
Yes, please.
Sarah, this story couldn't be more Sarah if it tried. According to Pop Sugar, it's no wonder Prince Harry and Meghan Markle get along so well when you look at their signs. So do you know their signs already? So I feel like you do.
I do. She's a Leo and he's a Virgo. Yes. And Leo Virgos do tend to find each other because those two signs are next to each other. But I would guarantee, so that's probably what they're saying. Like on the surface, Yes, but I would bet that Beverly probably would know more about their charts, and they connect in other places as well. But yes, she's the Leo, she's the fire sign, she's the outgoing actress, and Virgos are very grounded, and he 100% wants to build a family and take care of her and protect her. So all of their decisions that we're seeing make complete sense for their signs.
That's so interesting because that's basically what this whole article is saying, is that Harry, being a Virgo, and in a nutshell is analytical, practical, like you're saying, organization and perfection, where she's creative and passionate. Emotionally, Virgos are more reserved and less demonstrative. Leos, on the other hand, love to project themselves emotionally and expect grand gestures from their partners.
They do. That is true.
So they say the way Harry reacted to Meghan's unhappiness with what was going on in the royal family by way of writing a strongly worded letter to the press, followed by a formal lawsuit and severing ties with the British tabloids, is also in line with his sign's characteristics of not being afraid to speak out against others, especially if they feel someone has been wronged.
Yeah, and it's a good fit because he's going to let her have the limelight. Like, he doesn't need the limelight and she does need it. And he's okay with supporting that part of her and giving that to her. So that's a good balance.
So this isn't necessarily from an astrology standpoint, this isn't necessarily an opposites attract. This is they align more, like, because you were saying they're close to each other.
Because when signs are close to each other, they have similarities, or there's like crossover kind of. So they are very different, but they get each other. Does that make sense? It's like a yin and the yang, like get each other.
No, that totally makes sense. But I saw this story pop up on Pop Sugar, and I was like, "This is Sarah.
I love it.
Everything." So that's basically. I mean, Sarah, I feel like you could have written this article because
I know I'm the ghostwriter. I consulted. Yeah.
Have you ever? I mean, I would love to just give you people or topics or things or signs, and then just have you, just read it. Just here's what we think.
Yeah, we can try that sometime.
Okay, I won't put you on the spot now. But yeah, okay. Let's get to this quick little fun game that Sarah made. And I am going to our Instagram account. And again, follow us at Good Pop Pod. And Sarah and I, and you guys feel free to answer in the chat while we share ours. So Sarah made a this or that, and it was pop culture edition. And again, you can share it. Seth, I think, was saying he didn't know how to screenshot. I feel you.
No, that was Faith, wasn't it? Faith didn't know how to screenshot.
Someone to help each other in the chat, I should say, with how to screenshot, because it's different on some phones and computers and things like that. So the pop culture edition, I thought this was so fun. I even made Chell do it, and he wanted to. Good. Sarah, do you want me to read yours, or do you want to read yours?
Oh yeah, I was looking for it. Hold on, I'm getting there.
Okay, yes, I'll read mine first.
I am here.
Okay.
Tell me. Let's do it together. So, which one? Kardashians or Windsors?
Windsors.
Yes, of course, Windsors. We had, I think her name is Diana, did it. And she said, I don't know who they are, but she still chose the Windsors.
Chell didn't know who the Windsors were either. And I'm like, the royal family.
That's their last name.
Exactly. And they're if you love the Kardashians, the Windsors are far more interesting. The intrigue, the trauma, I don't even know all the words I'm using, around this family is far greater than the Kardashians. Okay, the next one is Housewives or Mob Wives. What'd you say?
Housewives.
Housewives, me too. Even though I did watch the Mob Wives, and Renee, who was on Mob Wives, actually did Celebrity BB in the UK.
Oh, fun.
And she was very interesting on it. Check it out on YouTube if you haven't. Okay, next one. Group date or wedding?
Now, this is saying like a Bachelor type show or like Married at First Sight. Because someone did ask, like, is there a show with a wedding?
Oh, me and Chell took it as, would you rather go on a group date or go to a wedding? And I said group date.
I think like reality shows. So I was thinking Bachelor group date or like Married at First Sight. I said wedding because I love that show, Married at First Sight.
Okay, if it's that, then I'll say wedding. But if it's whether I'd rather go on a group date or go to a wedding, I'll say group date because I'm kind of like, I did the wedding thing. Moving on.
Right. Moving on. All right, take it however you want,
Yeah. All right. Desert Island or Romantic Island? Now,
Desert Island, please.
I again took this as, even though it clearly states in the game, pop culture edition, which would mean like, do you want a Survivor. Or do you want a Temptation
Bachelor
Island?
in Paradise?
Yes.
Something like that.
And I said Romantic Island. And when I clicked Chell, he said, well, what is that? I go, well, would you rather be by yourself or with me? And then he had to say Romantic Island because I was right there.
Those choices, that make sense. Yes, choose you. I said Desert Island because I was thinking Survivor.
Yes, and we love it. Okay, now the next one, I don't know what the first one is.
Oh, and Eleganza is from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh gosh, see, I have never watched a full season of RuPaul's Drag Race. I feel like I should get my reality TV card taken away from me. Mm-hmm. But and I perform at a spot in WeHo where they do drag shows, and RuPaul people show up, Mickey's in WeHo, and everyone, I mean, people pack it out. They come at the end of our comedy shows and they're just waiting for RuPaul's Drag Race people.
Yes.
So okay,
this was my first season. I just watched this season for the first time. I was way late, but it's amazing. But I still chose Roadblock. You know what Roadblock is though, right, Joleen?
No, I didn't know what either were.
Oh, that's Amazing Race.
Which
I didn't realize how inside this was.
Well, it shouldn't be, but I've never been able to get through a season of Amazing Race either, even when Janelle and Brittany were there. And it's nothing against Amazing Race. I just didn't give myself the time to sit down and yeah. So I chose Eleganza.
Because it sounded elegant. That's a good choice.
It did. Yeah. So did Chell. All right. The next one, TMZ or Pop Sugar.
Do you know what these are, Joleen?
Yes. And I picked Pop Sugar because that's where I get a lot of my news stories that I use on this podcast. And I love Pop Sugar.
I chose Pop Sugar as well.
Yes. The next is The View or The Real.
Now, those are both talk shows.
Yes.
I know anyone is asking.
Because The Real has played, I should have picked The Real because The Real has actually played a clip of my stand-up because I was one of the top 3 comedians in 2016. Lonnie Love did a competition. You had to send in your tape. And it was me and 2 other gentlemen. One I know, Trenton Davis, and another guy in Texas I didn't know. And people voted. And at the time, I was performing for the troops in Europe, so I wouldn't even be able to get back if I would have won. But I didn't win, luckily. I got like second or third. And the person who won got to go perform. And then while I'm in Europe performing for the troops, my dad's watching at home and they tried to trick the audience trick the guy who won, thinking us other 2 contestants were there. So Tamar Braxton, who was on Celebrity Big Brother US and won, said my name. It was like, because Lonnie called my name and I didn't come out. And then Tamar said, Where's Joleen at? Like, where's Joleen? And so I kept that clip for so long. And my dad was yelling at the TV, she's in Europe. He's like, don't go. No, Dad, it's the producers kind of playing around. So I should have picked The Real, but I picked The View because I love doing impressions of Meghan McCain. I love doing impressions of The View. It's kind of fun. So what'd you pick?
I picked The Real because a little trivia here. I developed The Real. That was my job at Warner Brothers Television. My team, we put together The Real, and I worked on the very first season to get it launched and then left soon after that job. But that's like my biggest thing is I created that show, and it has since won a Daytime Emmy. And so I'm like, hey, still in the air.
That is huge because that show is iconic, and they just added Amanda Seales as a host, who's a stand-up comedian and just like super smart advocate. I love her. But Lonnie Love, obviously, I love. Obviously, Tia Tamara.
We were trying, all of those girls separately. We were trying to get all of them shows. We loved Tamar. We loved Lonnie. We loved the Maori sisters. And eventually, we were like, let's put them together and make a panel show. And we did, and it was awesome.
Offline, can you tell me what happened with Tamar in that show or whatever?
100. Yep.
Okay. But, oh God, Sarah, I feel like the universe then, maybe Bev can say something about this, has put us together. We have so much in common.
Right?
It's crazy. All right. The next one is true crime or reality.
That was a tough one for me because I love both. I said reality, but it's close.
I said true crime because I cover reality and I love it, but I will sit at home and watch Dateline until forever.
Right.
So that was hard.
ID network all day.
Snapped. All right. So the next one, videos or podcasts?
I said videos. I will watch videos after videos after videos before I listen to podcast after podcast after podcast.
Me too. I get stuck in like a YouTube hole of videos. Yeah. And since a lot of podcasts, not most, but a lot of podcasts like ours are on YouTube and on iTunes, I prefer to see the video version of it. So
we give you choices.
Yeah. So the last one, tweets or stories?
Stories.
Me too. Tweets are like,
I still tweet. I still like Twitter.
But stories are so fun.
But stories are a lot of fun. I was in that first little group that joined Twitter, like in the very, very beginning. It was created at the end of 2006. And March 2007 was this big conference for all of us who worked in new media. Back then we called it new media. Now it's just like social media. And Twitter, we all joined Twitter and we used it like texting. We were like, I'm at this party out on Twitter. Like, wow. It was a very cool time. It was before any celebrities were on it. So I have a little love for Twitter just because I was OG. But
oh my gosh, I don't think I joined it till 2010 or 2009 till I was doing comedy. And I was tweeting about like the Bad Girls Club and I was just hashtagging too much. And then I would tweet. I found some old tweets about Big Brother and I had to delete some of them because I sound so crazy. I sound like a crazy person where I'm just like, why did you do that, Paul? Like he's going to see it.
Yeah.
You know, like, right. And get over yourself. So that is a super fun game. Again, you guys can catch it on our Instagram account, Good Pop Pod. Good Pop Pod.
That's us.
Pop Pod. And Diva agrees. Videos over podcast. I love that you guys played along in the chat.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so let's get into some good pop culture news. I feel like I shared the first one. You have one to share.
Well, this past week was Mother's Day, so it was a good time to announce that you're pregnant. And we had two couples that we know from our reality space that announced. Cody and Jessica from Big Brother announced that they are having their second baby. They also did a gender reveal that it's a girl, and their first baby was a girl, so that's adorable. And then Rachel Riley and Brendan announced that she's pregnant with her second as well.
I missed that one. Congratulations.
Congratulations to them. And then that made me want to think about celebrity and daughter duos, mom-daughter duos. So I have a quiz for you, Jolene.
Oh, yes.
And the chat, of course.
Okay.
I'm going to give you either the mom or the daughter, and you tell me who their celebrity mom or daughter is. Yeah?
Okay, the mom or the daughter. You tell me who their celebrity mom or daughter.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I get it. Yep.
So if I say Goldie Hawn.
Kate Hudson.
Kate Hudson is her daughter. Yay! Ding, ding, ding. I need a bell.
And Oliver Hudson is their son.
Yes. Oh, and he adorable.
Right.
What if I say Blythe Danner? Who is Blythe's daughter? Gwyneth Paltrow. Ding, 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 ding.
Hey! I feel so excited.
How about... Well, I don't know if I'd give you the mom or the daughter for this one. What if I say Melanie Griffith has a daughter?
That would be the girl that's in 50 Shades. I don't remember. Dakota. I was going to say Dakota Fanning. Dakota Johnson.
Johnson, because her dad is Miami Vice.
Don Johnson. Yes, Don Johnson.
Lisa Bonet, who is her daughter?
Well, with Lenny Kravitz, she had a beautiful daughter, and she's been in a ton of movies, and I'm forgetting her name right now, and she looks just like Lisa.
Last name is Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz.
Yes, there you go.
She's gorgeous. Mm-hmm.
Let's go old school. How about who is Carrie Fisher's mom?
Oh, Carrie Fisher's mom is what's her name? Oh my gosh, she passed away like soon after Carrie did. And her daughter's on American Horror Story. Her granddaughter's on American Horror Story. Carrie Fisher's daughter is an actress. And she's wonderful. And oh my gosh, I can't think of her name. Could you give me a hint? She's an icon.
Well, yeah, she's an icon.
Wait, a body put in the chat. Debbie Reynolds. Duh.
There you go. Debbie Reynolds. Good job, Bonnie.
Oh my gosh. Yes, they're like the trifecta. Like you have Debbie Reynolds, you have Carrie Fisher, and then you have Carrie Fisher.
Daughter. Yep. An actress in that family. Yeah. Okay. Here's the last one. This one's a little more obscure. I love this one because not everyone knows this one.
Okay.
But Mariska Hargitay from Law and Order SVU
Yes.
She has a famous mother. Who is her famous mother?
Didn't her mother pass away in a car accident?
Yes.
She was super famous, and it was horrific. Old school.
Yes.
And I know I can picture her, and she's really a famous starlet. And I know the hint because her dad was also a hottie, like a weight guy or something. Or
and he's still alive. Last name is a street down that goes through Hollywood. That doesn't narrow down a lot.
Sunset.
I know, right?
Oh wait, I saw it in the chat. Bonnie, you're killing Jane Mansfield.
Oh, Bonnie, good job,
Good job, Bonnie.
Mansfield. I love it.
Which explains why Mariska Hargitay is so beautiful and just amazing.
Yeah, stunning. Yeah. Yeah, you did really good, Jolene.
Thank you. And Carrie Fisher's daughter, who's in American Horror Story and a bunch of Ryan Murphy stuff, is Billy Catherine Lord. And she's
that's right.
a terrific actress. I follow her on Instagram, and she's always posting these wonderful throwbacks for her mom and her grandma, Debbie Reynolds. So definitely
that's so sweet.
Follow her, you guys. I love her. She's so cute. So that was fun, Sarah. Can you come up with a quiz every week?
I will try. I love a quiz.
Speaking of quizzes, how is your quiz show going? Can you give a quick little plug for that so people check it out?
Yes, absolutely. Over on the Nerdtainment channel, every Sunday, we do a show called Sight Unseen. It is actually my husband Douglas's baby. He loves to create game shows, and he pitches them to me. And sometimes I say, sure, I'll put that on my channel. But it's kind of formatted like those panel shows where we have like rotating people who come on and try to answer. It's kind of like what is this show called? What's My Line? Is it My Line or Your Line?
Yeah,
anyway, what's My Line? Where they chose someone's job, but we choose websites, and they're very obscure, and we're usually wrong. But it's a lot of fun. Check it out.
Yeah, yes, Sight Unseen is awesome. I've been on a couple episodes, and it was so fun, especially when you get it, because Douglas gets some obscure things. He does a terrific job. Okay, so speaking of babies, since we talked about Cody, and then I forgot her name, Jessica, I'm sorry, and then Rachel Riley and Brendan, Brenchel having a baby. America Ferrera welcomed a baby girl with the cutest name, Lucia Marisol. So on May 10th, the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants actress shared that she and husband Ryan Pierce Williams welcomed a daughter. And May 4th is the birthday of my best friend since I've been 10, Desiree. So strong Taurus power, right?
Yes.
So Lucia, which is of Spanish and Italian origins, it derives from lux, the Latin word for light. Lucia was the 183rd most popular name for girls in 2018, and though we're not sure how it's pronounced, I think it's Lucia. Likely either Lucia or Lucia. There's no denying how well it flows with her big brother's name, Sebastian. So congratulations to the wonderful actress America Ferrera.
I was waiting for you to give me a name like Greece.
Jolene.
No, I was looking for another country because her name's America. So I wanted it to be like Spain.
You know what's so funny about that? Is that she's such a, I love how you're spinning in your chair.
I accidentally spun too far, sorry.
France, Portugal. I forget that she's named after America because she's just such a
because it's become part of our lexicon. Like we just call her America.
Exactly.
Yeah. But she was named after the country.
Bonnie said Iowa. Yeah, she should have named her daughter Iowa.
Not a country, but Iowa.
If I have a kid, I'm going to name it South Dakota Lunzer.
I do. Reese Witherspoon's son is named Tennessee. There's probably a ton of Georgias out there.
Yeah, California's I've never heard.
No.
Montana, yes, on the Real World.
Oh, yeah, Montana.
Season like 2 or 3 or 4, Boston. There was a Montana. So... yes, you guys. Okay. Do you have another pop culture story?
I do. Well, I thought it was interesting. I saw a headline and dove into shows that turned 20 in the year 2020.
Oh, fun.
2 of them happened to be 2 of our faves, Survivor and Big Brother.
Oh.
Both premiered in the year 2000. Survivor premiered in May 2000 and Big Brother premiered in July 2000. Wow. Those 2 are still going strong. Minus COVID, but yes, going strong. But also, do you know the show Even Stevens?
Yes, my mom used to love that show. No,
what?
No, she didn't. I'm sorry. That was the show that had my mom loved the show. She did not love Even Stevens. Even Stevens had what's his face on it? That actor who did that weird artsy stuff.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. My mom did not, which was a kid's show. She did not love it.
So it was on Disney, and I was like, your mom?
I'm thinking of The Middle. My mom loved The Middle. I don't know why those two shows are alike, but there's a daughter on The Middle, and I saw her once at IO West because she was there supporting some friends on a show, and I told my mom, and my mom like lost her stuff. She was just like, what? I love that show. But yeah, my mom was not a fan of you, Steve.
Well, I didn't know what it was, so I had to look it up, but I was like, oh, this was Shia LaBeouf's like first job or first as a kid. The show Girlfriends premiered in 2000. That was the first time I learned Tracy Ellis Ross.
Yeah,
that was a good show. Dora the Explorer.
Oh, Dora, my favorite.
I've never seen it, but a job that I had in my early LA days was a dancing character at Universal Studios.
What?
The big fuzzy head body characters that dance around the theme park. And I was bigger than any of the other characters.
Why was that?
I guess, I don't know. I guess shorter people just like this and they fit in the costumes better. And I'm not even a tall person. I'm 5'4".
You're a petite, small person. So I'm like, how are you? Did they have 5-year-olds there?
Yeah. So the only, so I was like borderline. They were like, which boy character can she fit in? And so I played Diego, Dora's like brother or cousin. I don't know the show, but yeah. So I had my little backpack and my big Diego head, and I went out and I broke it down. And we did a little hip hop dance, and then we like.
That makes so much sense for how you are. Just your dance is just fire. It slaps, like the kids say. Fire. Your dance slaps, fire. It's just it's a banger. Your dances are bangers.
Yeah, totally.
That's so interesting. I bet that was sweaty. That makes me think of sweating.
It was so sweaty. I only could do it 1 year because once summer was rolling around again, I was like, I can't. No, peace out. I can't do it. It was so hot. I
would be taking breaks in the AC all day, every day.
Speaking of Malcolm in the Middle, that is one show that did premiere in 2000. So it is 20 this year. And last one, Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Wow, which is back.
Is it back?
I think so, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Douglas, my husband, he was on an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Which one?
Do you know it well?
No.
He was he played the cake baker. So if you remember the episode with the inappropriate erotic bakery.
What?
And the penis cake. That is my husband.
I'm Googling it right now
because I want to
take a picture of Douglas would pop up. There's video, so I'm gonna have to watch the video. But I just wanted to see if I could see. That's awesome. Congratulations, Douglas. That's a huge little part to get. Like, that's a big one.
Yes. Awesome. No, he's got some good credits. He's a talented guy.
Yeah, Douglas. Oh my gosh. I'm learning. I feel like this is like the Learn About Sarah episode. That's why I like this podcast, because I learn more about you. And it's so interesting because as we get farther along in Los Angeles, the things we've done is always so interesting through the years. There's so many things.
Right? It just feels like normal life until you like sit down and look back over it and you're like, what did I do? What?
I know. It's crazy. Faith is like, OMG.
OMG. Did you see this week, Jolene, did you see there was a Twitter hashtag of like mundane celebrity sightings, I think is what it was. People were tweeting about the most mundane time that they saw a celebrity. And it made me think like most of my celebrity sightings are mundane because we live in the same town. So I see them at the grocery store. I see them at Starbucks, Coffee Bean. Yeah, getting gas. Like they're mostly mundane.
They're just boring. Like my most recent celebrity sighting is someone who hasn't been in the limelight for a while, but used to be huge on MTV when I was growing up, and that's Bam Margera. And so he was a part of the what was Bam Margera part of? As I bring it up, so he ended up having his own show later, but he was part of the Jackass crew. So Johnny Knoxville and them. And he's had a lot of issues in his personal life since then. He's also been on some reality shows. that's, like a VH1, like a family type thing. I think he was on with his mom, and Addiction, he was also on a recent episode of Dr. Phil. But I was walking down Sunset and walking to a tea parlor Chell and I go to, and he was standing outside of a restaurant just smoking a cig. And I was just like, oh crap, that's Bam Margera. Like when I was 21 years old, I was like, holy cow, Bam Margera. And then I was just like, what's up, Bam? And then he met a friend because he must have been done eating, and they went across the street to 7-Eleven. So it wasn't, it was just real chill.
That's it. They live lives just like we do.
Such a good point. Okay, now speaking of Hollywood, I found this one that's kind of fun. 7 fascinating facts about the Hollywood sign. Because I just got done watching Hollywood on Netflix. We talked about it last episode. Ryan Murphy's newest gem, and it's so great. And so I got the little slideshow here, and I love how we saw in Hollywood, the show on Netflix, that the sign used to say Hollywoodland. So when it was originally built, the sign said Hollywoodland. The Hollywood sign actually originally started as Hollywoodland. It was built as an advertisement for a housing development in the 1920s. I had no idea.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I had no idea. I feel like I should know. This is my neighborhood. The publisher of the Los Angeles Times at the time, Harry Chandler, wanted to promote the area and all Hollywood had to offer. So he and his partners paid for it to go up, and it illuminated Hollywoodland. So that's one of them.
Yeah, it was literally like a subdivision. That was just like the subdivision name.
Oh, no, it would turn so iconic.
Right. Crazy.
It's crazy. 2 is land was removed from the sign in the 40s. Over 2 decades, the sign started to seriously deteriorate, so the developers handed it over to the city. In doing this, the city decided to drop the land from the sign and give it a makeover, including removing the light bulbs, which that makes me kind of sad. I want to see light bulbs, but probably better for the environment. And then it became a part of the famed Griffith Park, which, have you ever hiked to the sign before?
Yes.
Me too. I love that hike. It's a long one, though. If you start,
it's a long one.
It's like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Hugh Hefner helped save the sign in the 70s. As the sign started to quite literally crumble, Hugh Hefner threw a party for some of Hollywood's elite to raise money to fix it. Number 4, you can't legally get near the Hollywood sign anymore. Though there are many, there may have been a time you could get close. The giant letters on Mount Lee, that's no longer the case. The sign is now guarded by security cameras, a razor wire fence, motion sensors, and microphones. Yeah, you can't. Even when you hike to the top of it, there's that huge fence and the sign is a historical landmark. In 1973, the Hollywood sign was declared a historical landmark by the city's Cultural Heritage Board, which I'm glad they did that. And number 6, the land around the sign is protected. If you've ever wondered why there are no homes or buildings anywhere near the Hollywood sign, there's a reason for that. Howard Hughes purchased 138 acres near the sign in 1940 with the intention of building a home. It never happened, but he remained the landowner. His estate ended up selling the land in 2002, and movie studios, actors, and various foundations raised over $12 million to purchase it from the investment firm and keep it as a protected parkland. And finally, the sign, the color of the sign isn't just white. In 2013, Sherwin-Williams repainted the entire Hollywood sign. It took 255 gallons of paint in the color of high reflective white. Painters stripped off the previous layers of paint before the refurbishment, and you can see a time lapse of the project here, and that is on Pop Sugar if you guys want to check it out. But I thought that was just so interesting because it's so iconic, and it's like that sign when you first go to LA or Hollywood, or if you move there, you visit there, everyone's always getting a picture. There are moments, I've been living in Hollywood almost 7 years, and I still, if I get like a great view of it, I'll pull out my camera and take a picture of it because it is so iconic. So
yeah, I mean, the first day I drove into LA because I packed up my car and drove across the country and moved here. You come in the 101 or you come in the 10, and then you go up the 101 for like days. It feels like you're on this freeway, and then all of a sudden you see the sign, and I'm just like, oh my God, there it is! This is why I moved here. Oh my God, I'm here. And then you
like that. Oh my God. Like, oh my God. I'm so sorry, guys. I was trying to block the user, and
something's going down on Facebook.
Highlighted their comment, and it was a troll. And okay, great, guys.
But yeah, great. You forget about it for a minute, and then you're driving down the road and you see it. I mean, you can see it from a lot of different areas and angles, and so all of a sudden you'll see it, and I just every single time I'm like, oh, I live where that sign is. It just fills me with joy anytime I see it.
It
And of course,
is.
you take every visitor there.
I know.
And you're like, you want to see the Hollywood sign? And they're like, yes, I do. And then you take them and you take pictures.
Exactly. Everyone wants to see it. And you can hike certain parts of like Runyon and get a good view. And then in Griffith Park, you can hike it. So that's super fun. Did you have any more pop culture news to share?
I don't. I'm ready to move on to the positive news.
I was hoping so. Go ahead. Give it to us, Sarah. The positivity.
Thank you to Faith, who submitted this to me, and I thought it was an adorable story. Yes. It is about a couple who were a part of the Vegas shooting. What year was that? 2017, I think it is. Mm-hmm. They actually met in Vegas the day before the shooting. Okay. And I mean, first off, you know, typical Vegas hookup, I'm sure, where he was like, what's up, what's up? And then they decided the next night to go to that big concert. And then the shooting happened and he, you know, helped rush her out and protect her. And, you know, she says he saved her life. And then now they just got married.
Oh, that's so nice.
So, yeah, I thought it was sweet. Obviously, they went through a traumatic thing together. But honestly, as I was reading it, I was like, just good job for like being a Vegas hookup and getting married. I mean, that alone doesn't ever happen.
No, I've been to Vegas a few times. No friend I met there did I ever talk to again. Well, maybe once or twice. But I did get married in Vegas, so I like that. That was a good story.
Yeah, so congratulations to them and glad they survived.
Yes, so glad. So speaking of survival, I watched sometimes I will watch Live PD. Have you ever heard of this show before?
No, is that police?
It's a cable show. It's a police show now where they have 3 hosts, and it's kind of humorous now because the hosts are obviously, you know, quarantined. They're not together. And instead of using like a Zoom type thing, there's a really big delay when they talk to each other. So one will do like a joke and then it'll take like 15 seconds. So me and Chell kind of watch it for that. And also it's just like live feeds from different cities throughout the country of police calls and stuff. And I grew up when Cops was a show, and I know it's a little problematic, but my dad would always watch it. And so I started watching this Live PD. Well, last night, it will go for 3 hours, Sarah, these episodes. Last night, there was a story about a dog. So they were in South Carolina, and some neighbors called about hearing a dog in a sewer drain.
Oh my gosh.
Barking. And so I'm watching it. Now in this show, they'll go to commercial and then they'll come back to the story. Now they knew once they told us there's a dog in a drain, they're going to have to come back to this. So they kept saying, we know you guys love dogs. We're going to keep you updated. So I was ready to go to bed. Then the dog story came up and Chell was falling asleep on the couch. And I said, I can't sleep until I know about this dog. So all these neighbors are out. There are 2 deputies there. They actually take off the cover of the sewer. They go down there and you can hear the dog's wails. Like it's in pain. They're doing the flashlight down there. At one point, one of the Good Samaritan's neighbors thought that it was a fox, because in this neighborhood in South Carolina, Richland, I believe it is, there are a lot of foxes. And then the cop went back down. So they were taking turns. I mean, it's a dirty sewer, but they're going to save this darn dog. And they're looking with their flashlight and the dog's bleeding and it can't move and its face is in the water. And they're calling animal control. Animal control is not showing up. So they decide they're just going to put together kind of rigged, devices to pull the dog out. So they got like a painter and pole and they tape stuff to it and they try to grab it by its collar. And this Good Samaritan gentleman goes down there and he's got the dog, but then the collar comes off. So they're just, it was like almost the whole episode it took. And then finally they had a rope. And the Good Samaritan went back down in there and pulled the dog out, but they didn't know if the dog was going to attack them. But the sounds, the dog was very hurt. They pulled the dog out. Another police officer jumped in there to carry the dog. They were covering, it was wet. He couldn't walk. They were trying to give it food and water. The dog wasn't able to eat either of those. Still, animal control didn't pull up. So one of the homeowners went and got a blanket. They wrapped the dog up, put the dog in the police car, brought it to the emergency vet. Turns out it's a 17-year-old female dog named Maxine. She went missing and she had a microchip. And so they're able to find her owner. And then the Richland PD ended up paying, Richland County, South Carolina, paid for the vet bills. So they did a bunch of tests. I think she's deaf. She's just an elderly dog. And now Maxine is home with her mom, and she's just covered still in a blanket. They fixed her up, and they're doing some, additional tests, but she's fine, and they found her owner.
Maxine.
And you guys, I went to Twitter because I'm like, I can't, I gotta know now. Like, I need to. And there was a whole hashtag for this dog. And then people were posting pictures of their dogs with prayers, like their dogs are praying. And I'm like getting the chills talking about it. So Maxine is home. She is safe. And thank you to these wonderful officers. I wanted to give them a shout out because I started following both of them on Twitter. I'm not so into this. So there were two deputies Hughes and deputies Seneko. And then there's a gentleman, the Good Samaritan, who hopped down there when they couldn't fit and he had longer arms. He's actually a 20-year Army vet. Aww. So it couldn't have been more beautiful to see in this time. All these people, there's this little boy because they couldn't fit in the drain hole. And this little kid was out there with his mom. He goes, I'll go in. And the cops like, I can't let you, sweetie, I can't. But we just want to save this dog. And she's a beautiful kind of lab mix, Maxine, and she's at home, and she's stable, and she's warm, and she's good. So,
was the family excited to have her back? Like, the family's good people?
Yes.
Okay, good.
The mom of Maxine, she has been posting in Facebook groups, like local neighborhood Facebook groups, that she had been missing, and they've been looking for her. So she must have gotten hurt and being deaf, and then gotten into this. It couldn't get out, and so
Oh my gosh!
I was standing like up on the couch, like, come on, get her, and it just. I couldn't.
Well, I have so many more questions about what this show is, but that was amazing. I mean, not only did Maxine get reunited, but like they had to rescue her. Mm-hmm. I mean, had they not realized she was down there, this poor family was going to be just looking for her. And it was just not know that she was down in a drain.
People in the neighborhood said, we hear a dog, and the cops are like, what? So it's a lot, it's a lot like Cops, a format used to be where you follow the officers to the scene, whatever they're covering. But
so you have like the cop footage. Is that what you were watching?
Yes. So they have a camera crew with them, and they just go to a different town. And, you see a lot of, the typical things you'll see on like a cop television show, but you also see great stories like this of the community coming together and helping this beautiful little Maxine dog. And they ran blood tests and x-rays, and Maxine was sent home with her family where she's resting comfortably. So
that is wonderful. We love to hear it.
Yes. And now I'm following all of this on Twitter, and I retweeted something last night because I just couldn't. And Charles let me know. He was so tired. He's like, let me know what happens to the dog, and he fell back asleep. And so
we rescued a dog just a few weeks ago. There was a dog running around. She was tiny. She was like a little chihuahua. And she was just running in the middle of the street. And I jumped out into traffic because a car was coming. And I was like, no. And I was like, this dog. And of course, she didn't want to come to me. She's like running in the street in circles. And now more cars are coming the other way. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, both ends of the street. I'm like, no. And I was like, chasing her. And finally I had to be like, okay, she could bite me. I don't know what's going to happen, but like I have to pounce. And I had to like jump on her and like scoop her up, because as soon as you'd come close to her, she would just dart off again. So I had to like scoop her in close. But we did, we reached out to everyone in our neighborhood. We were just like, hey, we have this dog. And it only took like 5 hours, and we were able to track down her family and return her. So that was
I remember you posting pictures on your social media, and I was like, did Sarah get a dog? This dog is so adorable. You saved the dog's life, Sarah.
I mean, absolutely. I will. If I see an animal running, I am going to jump out into traffic anytime. But yeah, that dog was so lovely and so sweet. It had no collar on or anything, so we didn't have any information, but I was prepared. I was like, well, if nobody claims this dog, she's our new family member.
Oh my gosh, 2 dogs. That's way better than just one dog.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. More. They can come to my house anytime.
Yes, like Joel's saying, Sarah can wear a cape from now on. That is some heroic stuff right there, Sarah. I love that story. Let me share something with you real quick. This is another little good story that I found, and I just had to share it because this one might be a tearjerker. Well, it will be for me. So, okay. It's about Survivor. No, I'm just kidding. They have a story, and Good News Network is someplace that I go a lot for good news. And so this is from Good News Network, and it's how a nursing home in France stopped coronavirus from infecting any elderly in its care with a 47-night sleepover. So basically, I'll give you the rundown of what happened in this nursing home. The COVID-19 hit in the news in France and stuff, and the people that worked at the nursing home, and I think there was like over 100 and some people in this nursing home. And they noticed that the elderly people in the nursing home were getting depressed, and they would go to like wash them, and they would go, what's the point? Because we're seeing these numbers and we're seeing it affect the elderly. They stopped eating. And so there is the woman, I believe, one of the main women who runs it. Her name, I believe, is Valerie. And she decided that she was going to ask her staff who would be willing to do a lock-in. And so what they did, instead of having people come and go, is they got, I think, a 12 staff to stay there nonstop. Now, they thought it was maybe going to be a 2-week quarantine at the time, because this was in the beginning of March, and it turned out to be 47 days. And they also had other staff that wasn't able to stay nonstop. They would come in and bring food into another facility. So they never came in direct contact. And by doing that, not one of the people in their nursing homes got COVID, passed away from COVID, suffered. And instead, they're describing that it taught both the nursing home staff and the people in the nursing home just how, great it can be being together, like how this quarantine was like a mixed blessing sort of thing. So they had 47 days and nights together. It was like a constant pajama party, they're saying. Wow. They thought of it as a holiday camp. So I'm sorry, Vanessa Robert is the woman that they quote in this article. And she said it was tough. She's a caregiver, and she told the AP, but there were also moments of total joy getting together in the evenings, fooling around, tossing water bombs at each other. Then they have a picture here where they even did a pretend wedding. So they had one of the staff and one of the nursing home residents, because the staff and residents of Villanova is the nursing home in France, were all locked in together, separated from another part of the facility where outside staff members would bring in food and supplies. There was no need to confine seniors to their lonely rooms, because we're seeing in these nursing homes, they could just run amok. So they had like a holiday camp, literally.
Wow.
And, so they went on to do this little wedding, and she's dressed up and she has a flower bouquet, and their staff and nursing home people there. So they said it was a bit like entering a holiday camp. Living in lockdown with 130 people is extremely rewarding. And yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No,
isn't that interesting? It's so lovely to hear. I mean, we talked a lot about how the elderly are, obviously going through a tough time with this, and how we need to love our elderly. But it's so interesting because a lot of people are isolated by themselves. I mean, especially out here in LA, like I have a lot of single friends who live by themselves in apartments. That's how the city kind of is structured. And they don't have outside space. They can't see friends and family. And it's so, isolating. And so even though it sounds difficult and awful for these homes, for these nursing homes and homes for the elderly, but at least they had each other. Like that's so many people to be quarantined with. That's actually so wonderful.
Yeah, the woman who runs it, her name is Valerie Martin, and the home is in Corbis, I think. And there's 106 people they care for, and she just was like, "No, they're not gonna die on my watch." She said, "My residents still have so much to live for." So while she saw immediately their mental health declining because they're like, "Oh, like I guess this is it," she was like, "Nope, I'm going to do something." And she jumped to action, and her wonderful staff was there to back her up. And instead they were able to just have this camp.
Yeah.
Where they were run and play and get to know each other better. And I just thought it was such a beautiful story. I'm reading it. I'm like, ah. And then they have these signs. So when the numbers decreased and the doors opened up, a lot of these people who were staying nonstop in the home, they were able to go see their family. And then some of the residents made signs where it says like merci and different things in French I don't know. So I just had to share that story because in these times it's so nice to see, and how rare that they were able to save 106 elderly people from COVID-19.
Right? I mean, my goodness, we're seeing these homes in New York and stuff with quite different stats.
Yes.
So that's super, super wonderful. Along that line, I have to tell you about Bill Cohen from Monroe County, Pennsylvania. He just turned 101 years old, and by celebrating, he was released because he beat COVID-19. He had it. It did not get the best of him. He survived it and turned 101.
Oh my gosh, Bill, happy birthday.
Yes, his granddaughter said as soon as she got the call, she broke down because she thought, he's 101. He's got this virus. This is it. I'm never going to see him again. And going to pick him up was quite a momentous moment for them because he's healthy and able to go home.
Oh my gosh, I love these stories. That was going to make me
wonderful
cry.
Is that?
Oh, cute little Bill. I actually think I saw a picture. I saw an article of a guy that turned 101 and had survived. So it's probably the same gentleman. And he looked
Yes,
so
I
cute.
imagine it was. I had read a few weeks ago there was a woman over in, I don't remember if it was France or England. I'd have to look it up again, but she was like 102 and she kicked its butt and said, COVID, no, thank you. I will not take that. And I was like, what? I can't do anything and I'm not that old.
I know, exactly. If only I could be that awesome.
Right?
I'm 100 or 101. So Bill, let's give it up for Bill. Let's give it up for Sarah for saving dogs. Let's give it up for the South Carolina Richmond PD and also the wonderful vet. Let's give it up for the caretakers of the nursing homes in France. So wonderful. So that's all I have for good stories, Sarah.
Yes. What a wonderful podcast. How fun.
I know. I feel so much better. And I'm glad you guys could all join us here live because it's just kind of fun. I've been thinking more about this podcast and I cover so much TV and entertainment and I am a comedian. So I take a critical eye on everything in life. And sometimes I think, gosh, I wish I didn't have this comedian brain because I want to have joy. And this podcast brings me joy because I have to remember it's okay to embrace positive things and you don't have to always fall down the hole of negative stories and stuff. We can also point out the positive. Balance, Sarah.
Right.
That's what you told me.
Good balance, positivity, and then make fun of things another time.
Exactly. It's nice to have something to look forward to where I'm just going to be positive and not a snarky comedian. So this is nice. Thank you so much, Sarah, again, for another fun. This is our third podcast. You guys do not forget to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. The more rates and reviews we get, the more we're going to populate in the algorithm. iTunes might notice us.
Right.
Who knows?
We need them to notice us.
Beverly loves us. And that's all I've ever wanted.
Mama Beverly.
Yay. So thank you guys so much for listening. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. Sarah, I'll see you on Monday for Survivor.
That's right. Hop over to Nerdtainment on Monday for Joleen, for the Busted Can of Biscuits, and we'll do a final Survivor recap.
Yes, you guys have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.
Okay, bye.
And I think